Imagine this. Every single night, at exactly 3 a.m., while you are fast asleep, someone silently picks the lock to your front door. They walk into your bedroom, open your wallet, log into your bank app, and they erase a tiny, invisible fraction of your savings. You wake up in the morning, the money is there, the numbers on the screen are the same, but here is the trick. You can buy less with them than you could yesterday. This isn't magic, it's not an accident, and it is definitely not just temporary difficulties, as the news anchors love to say. This is inflation, the ultimate financial predator that is chewing through your paycheck right now, this very second. You think you know what it is. Oh, prices go up. No, it is much more complex and much scarier. Why do prices rise even when the price of oil falls? Who actually turns on the money printer? And why does being a millionaire today mean you might still be poor by last century's standards? Today, we are going to take this machine apart, screw by screw. I will show you how the system transfers wealth from your pocket to theirs without breaking a single law. But most importantly, by the end of this video, I will give you the antidote. There are only 3 ways, mathematically speaking, to beat inflation. The third method is what the richest people in the world use, and it is available to you even if you only have $100 in your pocket right now. Watch until the end to stop being the victim in this game. Let's go. To understand how we are being robbed, let's forget about central banks, complex indexes, and GDP for a minute. Let's transport ourselves to a deserted island. There are only 4 people living here, and the entire economy of this island consists of 10 apples. That's it, nothing else. Every resident has exactly $10, so the total money supply on the island is $40. The total goods are 10 apples. Question for a first grader, how much does 1 apple cost? It's simple math, 40 divided by 10. The price of 1 apple is $4. That is the fair market price. But then a miracle happens. A magical helicopter from the central bank flies over the island and drops a bag of cash. Another $40 for free, just gives it to the people. Now the people have $80 in their hands. They feel rich. Hooray, our wealth has doubled, they shout. But did they actually get richer? There are still only 10 apples on the island. The amount of goods hasn't changed. Only the amount of colored paper has changed. The apple seller isn't stupid. He sees that everyone is flush with cash, but apples are scarce. What does he do? Exactly, he raises the price. Now an apple costs $8. This is classic demand-pull inflation. Too much money chasing too few goods. This is exactly what happened to the world in 2020. Governments printed trillions of dollars, euros, and yen to support people. They thought they were saving the economy, but in reality, they just diluted the value of the money that was already sitting in your pocket. Imagine you have a bottle of fine vintage wine, and then someone comes along and pours water into the bottle. Is there more liquid? Yes. Is the wine better? No, it's watered down. Inflation is the water in the wine of your economy. Okay, you might say, if there is more money, why don't I feel richer? Where is my helicopter money? And this is where it gets really interesting. Economists call this the Cantillon effect. Imagine the government prints $1 trillion. That money doesn't magically appear under your pillow, does it? No. First, that money goes to the closest friends of the money printer, big banks, huge corporations, and the government itself. They get this money first, while the prices in the stores are still old and low. Using this fresh, hot cash, they buy up assets, factories, stocks, they build skyscrapers. Then the money flows down to contractors, builders, luxury car dealerships. And only at the very, very end does this wave of money reach you in the form of your salary. But there's a problem. By the time the money reaches you, prices for milk, gas, and rent have already gone up because the people at the front of the line have already bought everything and driven up demand. It turns out that inflation is a mechanism for wealth transfer. The poor, who get the money last, pay for the banquet of the rich, who get the money first. Next time you hear about economic stimulus, remember Richard Cantillon. Back in the 18th century, he explained why your banker neighbor buys a new car every year, and you don't.
But if you think inflation of 10 or 20% is a problem, you just haven't seen true hell yet. Sometimes the printing press goes insane, and money turns into garbage, literally. Germany, 1923, the Weimar Republic. Kids playing with stacks of cash like they are Lego bricks. A woman burning banknotes in her kitchen stove because the wood to heat the stove cost more than the money used to buy it. In early 1922, a loaf of bread cost 160 marks. By late 1923, it cost 200 billion marks. People would order a cup of coffee at a cafe for 5,000 marks, and by the time they finished drinking it, the price had jumped to 8,000. Waiters had to stand on chairs and announce new menu prices every 30 minutes. You think this is ancient history? Zimbabwe, 2008. Inflation hit 79 billion% per month. In the morning, you have enough money to buy a car. By the evening, you only have enough for a bus ride. People went to the grocery store with wheelbarrows full of cash just to buy 3 eggs. This is called hyperinflation. It is the moment when trust in the paper completely evaporates. Why am I telling you this? Not to scare you, but to make you understand one simple truth. Fiat money has no intrinsic value. It is just trust. As soon as the government abuses this trust and runs the printer at full speed, your savings turn into dust. But wait, was money always just paper? No. For thousands of years, money was gold or silver. You couldn't just print it with a snap of your fingers. To get gold, you had to dig the earth, sweat, and work. Money had a cost of production. Everything changed on one specific day, Sunday, August 15, 1971. U.S. President Richard Nixon went on TV and said, "We are temporarily," remember that word, temporarily, "suspending the convertibility of the dollar into gold." That temporarily has lasted over 50 years. On that day, the dollar, and subsequently every other currency in the world, became fiat, from the Latin word fiat, meaning let it be done. It is money that is worth something only because the government says, trust us, this is money. Before 1971, the printing press was chained to the gold reserve. Politicians couldn't print more than they had gold in the vault. Nixon cut that chain. Since then, the graph of national debt has gone to the moon. The graph of housing prices has gone to the moon. But the graph of real wages for ordinary workers stayed flat. Look at the charts before 71 and after. You will see a hockey stick. That was the moment we switched from standing on solid ground to standing on an inflatable mattress that is constantly leaking. And to keep us from drowning, they have to pump it up harder and harder. Okay, hyperinflation and gold standards, that's heavy stuff. But inflation has a younger, very sneaky and very nasty brother that you meet every single day at the supermarket. Meet shrinkflation, from the verb to shrink. You walk up to the shelf, you see your favorite chocolate bar. The price is the same, let's say $1.50. Phew, it didn't get more expensive, you think. But you don't notice that it has lost weight. It used to be 100 grams, then 95, then 90, now it's 82 grams. The price stayed the same, but the product got smaller. The manufacturer just stole 20% of your chocolate, and you didn't even notice. In fact, you probably thanked them for keeping the price stable. A carton of milk that is now 900 milliliters instead of a liter. A box of eggs that suddenly holds 9 eggs instead of 12. This is a genius marketing trick to hide price hikes. And chips? That is literally selling air with a potato scent. Guys, I have a question for you. Write in the comments right now, what item shocked you most recently? Where did you notice the package getting smaller while the price went up? I still can't forgive them for the 9-egg carton. Seriously, who came up with that? I'm reading your comments. Let me know.
We often hear on TV, by the end of the year, inflation was only 3.5%. You go to the store, you look at meat, technology, cars, and you realize prices have jumped by 20, 30, maybe even 50%. They're lying to us. That is your first thought. Actually, it's more subtle than that. There's official inflation, and there's your personal inflation, and these are two different universes. The government calculates inflation based on an average basket. Their basket includes the bare minimum: cheap pasta, potatoes, seasonal vegetables, basic utilities. If pasta goes up by 5%, but a Mercedes goes up by 100%, the average inflation will still be low, because everyone buys pasta, but very few buy a Mercedes. But your life consists of more than just pasta. If you buy quality tech, go on vacations, fix your teeth at a private clinic, or are building a house, your personal inflation will always be higher than the official numbers. So remember this: inflation is a hidden tax, a tax on those who do not know how to manage money. The government benefits from moderate inflation. Do you know why? Because the government has massive debts, and inflation devalues those debts. They borrow expensive money from you today and pay you back with cheap money tomorrow. But what do we regular people do? Are we doomed to get poorer? Now we get to the most important part: how to stop sponsoring this banquet. In the world of inflation, people are divided into 3 types. Type 1, the savers. These are people who keep money under the mattress or in a standard bank savings account where the interest rate is lower than real inflation. In the long run, these are the losers. Cash is trash. Keeping money in money is a guaranteed way to lose purchasing power. Type 2, the debtors. This sounds paradoxical, but during high inflation, being a debtor is profitable if you have a fixed interest rate. Look, you took out a mortgage at 4% or 5%, but real inflation is 15%. Effectively, the bank is paying you to live in that apartment. Every year, your monthly payment becomes less significant for your budget, while the apartment value goes up. Inflation eats your debt. But warning, this only works with smart debt like mortgages or business loans. Credit cards with 25% APR will destroy you faster than any inflation. And type 3, the asset owners. This is the only path to wealth. Inflation destroys currency, but it inflates the price of real things: stocks, real estate, gold, Bitcoin. If you own assets, you're sitting in a boat that rises with the water level. If you only have cash, you're standing on the bottom, drowning. Okay, we get it. Cash is melting ice. We need assets. But which ones? Let's have an honest battle of the three titans. Contender number one, real estate, concrete. For many, this is a religion. Houses are safe. The walls will remain. Pros, it's tangible. You can touch it. Cons, high entry cost and low liquidity. If you urgently need money, you can't sell 1 square meter of your kitchen. You have to sell the whole apartment, which takes months. Plus, taxes and maintenance. Concrete protects, but it's heavy. Contender number two, gold. Good old gold, the only money that has survived for 5,000 years. Pros, it doesn't rust, it doesn't burn, and the central bank can't print it. They haven't found the philosopher's stone. Cons, gold is boring. It pays no dividends. It just sits there. Gold won't make you rich, it just stops you from becoming poor. It's a shield, not a sword. Contender number three, digital gold, Bitcoin. Many call it the best answer to 21st century inflation. Why? Because of limited supply. The code of Bitcoin states there will be only 21 million coins, ever. Not a single coin more. Not a president, not a king, and not a hacker can change that number. It is absolute scarcity. If they can print $1 trillion overnight, Bitcoin is a mathematical constant. Yes, the price is volatile, but if you zoom out to the 10-year chart, it's the best performing asset in human history, outperforming Apple, Google, and gold. The verdict? Don't bet everything on one horse. Want stability? Look at concrete and gold. Want growth and can handle risk? Learn about the stock market and crypto. But the stupidest thing you can do is just watch your money sit in a checking account turning into confetti. I promised to tell you about Asset 1, which is available to everyone, an asset that cannot be confiscated and grows faster than any inflation. It is your skills, your human capital. If you're a top-tier specialist, you can raise prices for your services. You can switch jobs. Your salary will be indexed. The best defense against inflation is your ability to earn more, learn, master new professions. This is an investment with a yield of 1,000%. Let's summarize. Inflation is not a bug in the system. It is a feature. It will always be there. Worrying about it is pointless. Being angry is unproductive. The only way out is to play by the rules. Don't keep too much of your emergency fund in cash. Buy real assets regularly and invest in your own head. I know what you're thinking right now. Okay, I get it. Cash is bad. But where exactly should I put my money? Stocks are complicated. I don't have enough for a house. Especially for you, I recorded a step-by-step guide where to invest your first $1,000 so you don't burn out. I break down instruments that beat inflation and are available with a minimal budget. But I'll ask you to hit that subscribe button right now, the notification bell, so you never miss our new video. Your money needs to work, not melt. Let inflation work for you, not against you. Cheers.